Welcome to Chapter 5. We're going to be estimating project times and costs in this chapter. So far, we talked about projects, we talked about the organizational strategy, aligning to project strategy. We talked about various organizational structures or project organizational structures. We looked at what is a project and we defined the projects and its characteristics. Now we are going to estimate the project time and costs. And that will get us ready to do the project networks, then look at the resource costs and the actual cost of the project and the duration of the project, so on and so forth. So let's do the estimation of project times and costs in this chapter. So every project has a foundation of costs and times. Cost in terms of the budget and times in terms of how long the project is going to last. We need to understand and estimate time, costs, and resources for every project. As a project manager, you need to look at how long it is going to take, how much it is going to cost, who are going to be in this project. And each one of them is dependent on each other. All of them are dependent upon each other. In the sense that the more time you have, the more cost it is going to be. The more resources you have, more cost is going to be. And the less resources you have, it is more time it is going to take. So you can see that all of them are interrelated. The methods, uses, and advantages and disadvantages of two different estimating methods will be discussed in this chapter. One estimating method is the top-down estimating method. The other one is a bottom-up estimating method. We are going to also look at different kinds of costs associated with a project. And we will look at how do you develop an estimating database for future projects. And we will also look at the challenge of estimating mega projects or big projects and describe steps that lead to better informed decisions. The outline of this chapter starts with the factors influencing the quality of estimates, then estimating guidelines for the time of the project, the cost of the project, and the resources of the project. Two different estimating methods, top-down, bottom-up, and comparing these two estimating methods. The level of detail and the type of costs, and how do you refine the estimates, as well as creating a database for the estimation will be discussed in this chapter. Forecasting or approximating the time and cost of completing project deliverable, that is the process of estimation. So estimation is a process. Estimating tells you how you forecast and approximate the time and cost of completing project deliverables. And estimating is a trade-off. It balances the benefits of better accuracy against the cost of increased accuracy. Okay? Basically, what it means is to get better accuracy, it's going to cost you more. It's going to take you more time. Okay? Against the cost of increased accuracy, basically how you will secure increased accuracy. The There are two types of estimates we're going to look at. We're going to talk about the macro, called top-down estimate, and then a micro, which is the bottom-up estimate. Top-down estimate uses analogy, group consensus, and mathematical relationships, whereas the bottom-up estimates based on elements found in the work breakdown structure. Estimating time and cost are important. They are needed to support good decisions. They are needed to schedule the work for the project. They are needed to determine how long the project should take and also the cost of the project. They are needed to determine whether the project is worth doing at all, and also to develop cash flow needs. And in the end, estimates are needed to determine how well the project is progressing. Factors influencing the quality of estimates are the planning horizon. How long is the planning? 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, that kind of a thing. When is this going to happen? Complexity of the project. The more complex the estimates it will be non-accurate. Even though you account for the complexity. It depends on the people who you are going to hire for the project. It depends upon the structure and organization of the project, and how much you want to pad estimates. If it is $10,000, you put a miscellaneous of $5,000 to get a total of $15,000. This miscellaneous, how much you are willing to do. Organizational culture plays an important part in the estimation, and there are other factors, political, legal, environmental, all these things can influence the quality of estimates as well. The guidelines for time, cost, and resource estimation is use several people to estimate. Be responsible. Use the normal conditions of the project. Normal conditions the project is going to be implemented. Use time units and use contingencies if possible, and do it independently. Add risk assessment so that you don't have surprises at the end, or the stakeholders don't get surprises at the end. So let's talk about the estimating methods. Top-down estimates are usually derived from someone who uses experience and/or information to determine the project duration and total cost. So last year we did this project and it cost us $10,000. This year, as with experience, the material price have gone up a bit, so I would budget it for $12,000. That is by experience. It is also the information that is available to you from last year's projects. That is a top-down estimate. It is sometimes made up by top managers who don't have much knowledge of the activities that are used to complete the project. This is an approximate method. Bottom-up estimates are more detailed. So if you have the WBS, the work breakdown structure, you know all the activities of the project. And you know from how long it will take for each activity, what is the complexity of each activity, who is going to be working in those activities, and using that you can actually come up with a better detailed estimate. And this is the bottom-up estimate. But this can be done only after completing the WBS. So the top-down estimates are used for strategic decision making, like selecting a project. A bottom-up estimate is used in cost and time important projects. If you are pressed for time and if you have a solid budget to work with and you cannot go further than that, you need to use bottom-up estimate or detailed estimate. If you have high uncertain projects, you don't know the details, so you need to come out with a top-down estimate. Small projects, top-down estimates should give you enough budget and enough time. In a fixed price contract, in the sense that if a contractor comes and tells you, this project is going to take $10,000, at that time, it is better for the contractor to come up with a detailed estimate, because if it goes over 10,000, the contractor has to eat that money. The buyer is not going to pay for it because he got a quote for 10,000. So the contractor has to be careful. That's why he will go for the bottom-up estimate. If the customer wants details in the estimation, you would go for the bottom-up estimate. And if you have a scope which you don't know whether it is right or wrong, then you're going to go with a top-down estimate. It is approximate. There's no point in going to a detailed estimate. So it depends. So all these conditions can be used to know when to do the top-down and when to do the bottom-up estimate.